Hey guys, Dashing Sceptile here, and in this video, we're going to be having BBG Bisharp Battleground Season 1 Power Rankings, ranked by me, McGrosso, Orn Latios, Steven304, and Steering. And so, I'm in a call with them, and I'm going to unmute them now. Okay guys, we are here in the video. We're on call with all these awesome people, so, wanna say... Can y'all say hi to the video?
Zero or is bad, don't draft it, Kev W.
No.
Anyway, let's see.
Everybody.
Okay, so we're just gonna start. Let's see. Man, this music's very nice. Okay, so BBG Season 1. So we're gonna be going from number 12 team to number 1 team. So the number 12 team we have here is... I just gotta get to that. Okay, it is... the Cozy Charmanders, coached by Jack Knauf. Okay, so let's see. So the team is Mega Man, Victini, Miltank, Pachirisu, Excadrill, Buzzwole, Scizor, Hippowdon, Slowking, Aromatisse, and Trapinch. Now, things to note. What do you guys think? The removal, right?
I think, first of all, 3 ground types. Second, no dark type. Third, no grounded poison type.
Yeah.
This team has a lot of downsides.
Yeah, it does. But to be fair, the two other removal options can't get toxic by T-Spikes.
That's fair.
To be fair.
The only one that really wants to run it though is Drill.
It's true.
Or
Also, the lack
Scizor.
of Uber's bulk.
Where's his
Well,
order?
his bulk doesn't stand up to Uber's. Also,
Yeah.
the Trapinch for 3 points.
Yeah,
Patrick's a
triple
cool one.
ground maybe actually fix that and get a dark type. Like I'd say Mightyena would be worth it more than Trapinch. Or maybe Liper. Like Liper could honestly have a good use with Thunder Wave to stop Salamence and all. Like honestly, like Trapinch
Even
could
just Murkrow.
or yeah, Murkrow would also work. Yeah, cause yeah. So any other reasons why we think this team's not the best? Like you guys see the speed tiers. It's 120 to 100, then it just goes down. But no one's gonna keep Drill, so it's gonna be eh. Like Scarf Buzzwole's like okay here. Like eh. But yeah.
Yeah, there's an effective speed gap of like 100 to 79. And
Yeah.
then Miltank's the middle speed tier.
Yeah.
And they're forced to run Teeny or Men's special, and both of them sort of want to have that option, even mixed. But to some extent, besides that, there's no special presence.
Besides Nasty plus Loki, but that's never coming anywhere. So, yeah. Is that enough for this team? So,
Yeah, that should be good.
moving on to the next team, next team is the Chillin Chespins, coached by Sigilyphs. I don't know how to say that. I'm just gonna say sick. So, 6th team is Regieleki, Volcarona, G-Zap, Flygon, Solgaleo, Mega Blastoise, Clefable, Alolan Muck, Chansey, and Shuckle. Few things. 1. You threw by dropping Mewtwo. Good job. 2nd, Volcarona, G-Zap, and Flygon have the same speed tier. This speed tiers are messed up. Wouldn't you guys agree?
I also refuse to believe Flygon's
Yeah,
a
it's
real
pretty bad.
Pokemon. It doesn't do anything, and it's just frail and doesn't hit hard enough.
I got Flygon in a league for 7 points, so,
I
like,
mean, it's like 10 or 11
it's good
here.
in some situations.
It's 10 or 11 here, I think. So.
I'm like, Solgaleo as your... Okay, your steel does have recovery, so that's something at least. But it never wants to run recovery, in my opinion.
It really does it.
Blastoise just needs Shell Smash.
Yeah, that's true. That gap from Sigilyphs to Blastoise is huge.
Yeah, like
Especially
base
with
80s
Blastoise.
can run Adamant if they want to. Because Blastoise never
Anything
runs
will-
Timid. Because Timid
Anything
just gets revenged by any Scarfer, really.
There's also just bad removal in this team.
Yeah, the quote-unquote best removal is Regieleki. So that's not good at all.
Which is non-Shell Smash Blastoise for the week.
And thing is, you have to run your Forest-run boosts Volcarona as well. So, like, because Rock Hazard's so big for your team, your Forest-run boosts Volk, which is not good. And one thing, Clefable is so bad in Ubers. I am not. Clefable is so bad in Ubers. Sylveon is...
Clefable is not the worst thing you can have, but it's not ideal.
Sylveon is way better in Ubers than Clef, being real.
Yeah, that's fair. I can agree
But
with
yeah, that's all. Amok's a good answer to special mons. Kansas City's a good mon to more special mons, so you don't really have anything for physical mons, really.
That's fair.
Well,
Also, I like the
only thing you have is Flame by Vulcan, that's it. So, yeah.
The Struggle Pick's kind of good.
So,
Into that.
we gotta go to the next team, you think?
One more thing, just the lack of
One
natural.
thing I want to say. One thing I want to say.
Hey, did we
alone
mention
is
anything about...
Sneaky good.
What was I gonna say? Never mind.
Alright, next team it is.
Okay. Next team is Dallas Deoxys and coached by Predator 30. And so this team has Rabombi, Heliolisk, Mienshao, Zygarde 50, Ho-Oh, Suicune, Kabutops, G-Weezing, Tangela, Ferrothorn, and Mega Sableye. One, Stall. This is Stall.
Nothing wrong with it. It's just there isn't many offensive options on this team.
Yeah, so the only offensive option is Mienshao, Quiverness Rabombi, Sub Zygarde, and Sub Suicune, and Bandit Ho-Oh.
Okay.
Hello.
Like Bandit Ho-Oh or Specs Ho-Oh, like that's it.
Okay.
My main issue.
Something
real
we
quick,
didn't even discuss when ranking this team. Like, there's such a severe lack of synergy. Like, this team looks like it wants to be a rain team, but there's no rain setter.
Yeah.
And then, like, how do you really enable Ho-Oh or something on Zygarde or, like, there's no synergy on this team, really.
Yeah, there
Yeah, I
isn't.
was gonna say that's my biggest problem. Like with Ho-Oh, you want to have more momentum, and not even just momentum. I feel like their top offensive options require setup, so it's gonna be a lot of getting things in, and they sort of stick on the field.
Okay, so yeah, we're back, and so yeah, this team is pretty. It's not the best, but it's okay, I'd say.
They have about 7 or 8 mons that they can bring to each game because half these mons don't want to come anyways.
Yeah, like double grass kind of hurts, and I don't know why you're double grass, because you only need grass types for arrow switches, which you have the best. You have the Arrowmon and the best arrow switching. like
I think double grass isn't necessarily bad as long as one's offensive, one's defensive.
But they're both defensive.
Tangela doesn't want to come because Ferrothorn just outclasses it in most ways.
Yeah, and Mega Sableye is just a mon that can be toxic. But
yeah.
Thing is this: one thing we totally forgot to mention, their poison is not ungrounded.
It can be.
It can be, but like Zygarde, vulnerable to T-Spikes. Mega Sableye, if it gets poison, it's useless. Like, also webs don't help this team whatsoever. Like,
That's true.
cause it's all like bulky offense or bulky defense, really. But like, yeah.
All right.
Next, so now next team number 9 is going to be the Michigan Mews Asher. I don't know why the other part's there. So they have Gang. Whoops, that's the other team. So they have Gang.
So I didn't even talk about my team.
Did
Okay,
you?
no, go ahead.
Actually,
We haven't talked about it yet, have we?
no, I think it's Bronx Bewears next.
No.
Yeah, I actually need it. We skipped McGriddle's team.
These take me real
Wait, what?
Yeah.
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 So, you
Oh,
Michigan
hold on.
Mews,
10, 9. Yes, 9. I did
Number
twice.
nine.
Okay, 9 for Bronx
Yeah.
Bewears. So coached by McGrill. So they have MMX, Weavile, Blacephalon, Zapdos, Rillaboom, Neoqueen, Klefki, Claydol, Metagross, and Charjabug. So what do you think? Okay, so
real quick, just to start it off, I just wanted to say the way I was drafting this, I sort of looked at Mega Mewtwo and I was like, what do I need to support it? I was like, I need something to take out ghost types. So I got 2 of them, and I need something to take out dark types. And obviously Mega Mewtwo does that, but I like having different options. Obviously Klefki helps a little bit with that. And Metagross kind of hurts that a little bit, so something for me to think about. But besides that, I really like the Rillaboom Zapdos pairing. I think they play to each other very well. And with Nidoqueen, it gives me a stronger ground. I was originally dug Trio to trap things and sort of wreak havoc, but I like the Rocks option as well as a little bit more bulk to try to stand up and then do big damage to things in return. I think a lot of my matches, if I'm doing well, are going to be either extremely short or a lot of finding the right plays with momentum. But yeah, what do you guys think?
Yeah. I really like it. Like it has so much speed. Like MMX Weavile are so good together. Zapdos Rillaboom are also so good together. Nidoqueen's really good with Sheer Force Life Orb. But also could be defensive with T-Spikes and Rocks. You have good removal. Webs are very nice with MMX, so that's very nice.
I think I'll point is that Triple Psychic is another thing on that team. So the ghost weaknesses are not that great, and there's also no real switch into those.
Yeah, there's no. Yes. Like for example, a Spectra would have a field day on this team. Just saying.
Absolutely. Another one being the bulk is leaning heavily on Zapdos and screens. And so you were saying earlier, this team really wants to get those screens up and then just try to win with like bulk up MX or Blacephalon Break or STD.
Or Nestplot MMX to be fair.
I prefer Nasty Plot on MMX because your moves are stronger.
But it just needs to get those screens up and start trying to roll through teams because it can't outlast a lot of the other teams in this league.
Yeah, you can. So, anything else we gotta say? Like, there's a lot of good offense in this team.
No bulky water.
No bulky water. No bulky water does hurt, but yeah, it honestly does hurt because I think you could get someone like Mantine would honestly fit decently well on this team.
Dropping one of those psychics.
Yeah,
maybe Suicune could be cool.
Suicune's taking it right.
But I was
I think like Metagross for Empoleon.
Wait,
even.
actually, I forgot to mention, Milo's still free.
You could do that too.
Okay, yeah, Milo can work.
I like the Empoleon pick over Metagross just to keep your steel typing and then grab a water off that.
Yeah, that would also work.
Like Defogger, more hazards.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Kurapika spikes. Like honestly, your hazards game is very good. You have rock spikes, T spikes, and webs. Very nice.
I'm the one of those hazard games in this league.
Yeah. So yeah. Next mon, we're good. Okay, so now, I think that's enough for that team, right?
It's Michigan Mews, yeah.
Okay. So now.
Yeah, the stinky team.
It's not the number 8 team. It's gonna be the Michigan Mews, and all I gotta say is, this team is not. This is team. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that C word on YouTube, but it's I don't know. But yeah.
You can't.
What?
You can't.
I can't. Okay. So this team is very bad. I don't like fighting it.
You just don't like it.
No one wants to fight this team. No one wants to fight this team at all.
That's not true. I kind of want to fight this team.
I have an MMY. I love this team.
I mean, the holy Velto for that Gengar.
There's a whole T-Tar for that can pursue Mega Mewtwo Y, but yeah,
don't worry about it.
No team wants to fight this because Mega Gengar is.
It's the most broken one of this format.
It's fine. Just run Loki, Mega Mewtwo Y. You'll be fine.
Alright, this team's Mega Gengar, Espeon, Kartana, Tailglow Manaphy for some reason, Gliscor, Tapu Fini, Clank Skills, Komolo, T-Tar, and Magnezone.
Clanger Soul, yeah, but yeah, I really like this team. Komodo forces in fairies, and you can double into Mega Gengar, trap those fairies, and then Nasty Plot up or Surgery for KOs. Like that could also happen.
Fairies are gonna run special against this team.
Yes, 100%, 100%. Like I'm
Magnezone too.
Yeah, the fairies are gonna run special, but I'm even forced to run special Xerneas. But like, yeah, Magnezone, Kartana, those are steals. They don't rock, but also their Spadef's very low. Like your Spadef, your special defense relies on T-Tar. That's it.
I find it leans really heavily on Fini as well.
Yeah, Fini as well. I was gonna mention Fini. one win con every match probably is gonna have to be the
The Cortana.
Cortana plus Iron Defense Calm, my Sword Power Drink is Swingy. That's it.
That's the thing too.
The
I wouldn't necessarily. There's also whole ass Tegla Manaphy.
Yes, there is a whole
Yeah,
Tilgo
but that mod
man.
is really hard to make work. Like, because there's no way to boost its speed.
No, there is. It's called Blender Policy, but yeah.
Wonderful. I mean, some select too. So,
Yeah, I guess. But it's not. Those aren't the most reliable things. Like I said, it's hard to make work.
I really enjoyed that Gliscor Feeny defensive core too.
I really am. I'm really intrigued as how Espeon does here.
I mean, I guess just an offensive magic bouncer.
It's offensive psychic. Like honestly, if I be real, I know it has magic bounce, but I would probably get regular Alakazam over Espeon.
Oh,
I see what it's
agree.
trying to do here.
I think that mod is really underrated.
Which
but
one?
That's besides the point.
Espeon?
Regular Alakazam.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, in Pursuit League as well is a little bit iffy, but
I
Yeah.
guess.
I think
But
what
Espeon is
Espeon's
the same.
I see what it's trying to do here. Espeon's trying to make it for the
Still
lack of
gets
hazard
trapped even for the baton pass, but yeah.
game. It's trying to make it for the lack of hazard game that this team
Baton
already
Pass
has.
isn't even good for Espeon.
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
not.
it's just a momentum move.
Yeah, it's not.
It can't pass anything.
But yeah, we have that's pretty much about that team, right?
Yeah.
Like
It's a fine team. I mean,
It's-
it's like,
it has good
It could be
offense.
better, but it also could be a lot worse.
it has
has-
a lot of things
I
that can just
think-
win games.
Of everything in this bottom half, I think I'll be. I won't be surprised if this team ends up in the top 5 by the end of the schedule. Just saying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
They
oh
could just
yeah,
win.
oh yeah.
Even the bottom team can be top 5 as far as
Yeah,
placement. It all depends on the
anything, yeah.
players and how they use it. You know,
Yeah.
these are just for fun.
100%, yeah.
But yeah, I think
Actually, wait, just for a second. This gives us time to prep and say, even though for people watching from the league, these rankings aren't going to determine how you play, obviously, in the season.
yeah,
It's
of
just
course.
where we put them now, and if your team is closer to the bottom, prove us wrong. Show us that it is a good team.
Yes, indeed. But yeah,
Nice to see.
next team we're gonna go to can be number 7, which is Budapest Bears, coached by Elmando. And so, about this team, very scary in my opinion. I personally believe this is one of the best because there's a whole Protean Grand, there's a whole Megalopony, there's a whole Landostarian, and the Magirna. Like no one was a prep for that ever.
What if you just do?
What if you just-
You're insane.
Teams Megalop, Protein Greninja, Froslass, Drapion, Lando T, Rotom Heat, Mesprit, Serena, Magirna, Vaporeon, Sudowoodo. As well. Just
I'd say get a better rocker besides Pseudo, but yeah.
Lando T.
I mean,
My
yeah,
thing is, besides.
MT is a really good rocker.
yeah, it is. Like, I mean, but like, why is there a Sudowoodo? Like, why? I don't understand.
Some teams don't have Sudowoodo switch-ins.
Yeah,
Sure.
some do. Some don't. You're right.
Ramparts is better. Don't at me, but
Yeah, Ramparts is better, but yeah.
Relicanth is better than all of
about
those
it?
combined. Relicanth is god.
I was just gonna say, I feel like there's a lot of matchups that I could see that they're gonna have a hard time switching into a lot of things. Yeah, the momentum is there with a lot of their defensive sort of core, I guess. But I'm interested to see how the bulk holds up in the groups.
And
true.
also, actually, I really like the momentum on this team.
I agree.
alright. I
Like,
think I see
Yeah, everything has momentum besides Froslass and Drapion.
Sudowoodo.
I guess, fine.
yeah, like
It's a
everything is
hard-
Sudowoodo. Like everything has
Yes.
momentum.
I think there's the other, and I would love to see him. He's going to use that momentum, I think, pretty well. The other issue I see with this team, though, is there's not many stall breakers on this team.
Yeah, I mean, Drapion can't stall break. I remember I had to stall break with Drapion once, like a toxic taunt, roar, something, whatever.
But it also wants to pursue trap.
The Magirna could be a stall breaker though.
Magirna is probably like one of the best ones in the format.
Magirna is
Yes.
probably one of
But-
the best setup
Yeah.
breakers, but also I could honestly see Greninja running work up a lot, just to
Yeah,
break things a lot more.
it could, but I see this team struggling with like Chanties and Blissies along with like one physical wall because Magirna can struggle with that. Plus, just there's not much physical setup on this.
Chancy's Blissey is just that Megalopa, yeah.
Imagine they run physical Shift Gear Magirna, Iron Head Brick Break.
Threat.
Or
That's a-
Megalop.
I've seen that to do so much work. Like
Yeah,
legit.
that's fair.
I'll
Or
never
Megalop.
underestimate it.
But yeah,
It's a pretty okay team. It's just how is it going to hold up in the Uber format?
yeah, I'm really intrigued on how this team's gonna do.
It's going 0-1. It's going 0-1.
Okay, so the next. Okay, so is that all about this team?
I think for the most part, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're gonna go to the next team, which is gonna be the Little Rock Lycanrocs. Coached by Steven 304. So there's a Dragapult, there's a Torntea, there's a Mega Diancie, Urshifu Single. Oh my goodness. Kangaskhan, Rotom Walls, Donphan, Carkol, Bronzong, and Amoonguss. So this is the most sus team in the whole league, but yeah. Okay.
Stop.
Alright,
Stop talking.
Steven, do you want to speak on this one?
So basically, my first thoughts on this team was, first off, I want to get some decent defensive cores that I can at least get, and well, obviously I chose Rotom Wash, Bronzong, and Amoonguss. Some of them may not be able to hold on against some of these Uber teams, I'll admit, but they will do the job. Then I decided to get at least 2 Uber Mons, which were Dragapult and Urshifu Single Strike, which alone, both of those Mons together can pretty much hurt or even sweep teams. And then obviously my fairy is a Mega Diancie, which can be used basically defensively and offensively. So I like that. And then I also like I only have 3 pivot mons between Dragapult, Tornadus, and Rotom Wash, which they pretty much work well with one
and
another.
Diancie and Urshifu, but yeah.
Yeah, the synergy on this team is ungodly.
And then, I guess my rockers are pretty solid. Other than that, I do lack a lot on, I have pretty bad, Scarfers on my team, I'll admit.
Wait, hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on 1 second. And we forgot to mention there is also a Slurpuff on that team for webs, which Slurpuff alone makes this team way scarier because Slurpuff with webs just forces everything in a scarf.
I
Or
think,
boots.
Yeah, I think another thing about this team, obviously it's probably one of the best all-around teams in terms of its balance, but it doesn't, like Dragapult's something you'll see in normal draft, Urshifu is something you'll see in normal draft. It kind of lacks that wow power that some of the other teams have with like MMY and MMX, Mewtwo, Yveltal, Xerneas, those kinds of things.
Yeah, and honestly, Tornadus Therian can be very offensive. Like, maybe Naspa or Specs could be very nice.
Okay, to be fair, sorry to cut you off, but to be fair, I think that I've seen these type of teams do really, really good in Ubers. I've seen them a standard Nadex rain team in an Ubers league, where and most teams had 2 Ubers. I remember the Yveltal team had Genesect, which is crazy. But that team with no Ubers did really, really good. So that's not something that should matter a whole lot.
Yeah.
Urshifu Dragon Ball is still a really solid Uber core, don't get me wrong.
Of course.
So,
Of course.
there's a reason this team's in the top half, you know?
Yeah. The other thing I think it's relying a lot on its regenerator core for recovery.
Is it though?
Yeah.
Among
there's
Us
no
can
recovery.
okay, it does a little with Tornadus, but Among Us can synthesis. Yeah.
Can't get Wish, but yeah, that's about it, right?
Yeah, that is.
It's hard to keep your team sustained.
Really
Which is
good
gonna be-
removal in Rotom, Donphan, Carkol, and Torn. This team is really good.
Very
And
solid.
then it's funny that you say it kind of lacks the wow factor, but those top 4 picks are kind of nuts.
Yeah, they
just
are.
Looking at those top 4 picks, it's
Yeah, for
it
sure.
kind of makes up for not having that one standout one.
It's definitely possible, yeah.
Yeah.
He do well, so
Mhm.
for sure.
So now, I think that's it for that team, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now, the 5th team is the Melbourne Reshirams, coached by Edster. So Edster has Zeraora, Marshadow, Celebi, Manibuzz, Mamoswine, Megaoteria, Heatran, Sylveon, Jellicent, and Porygon. Do we have any thoughts for this team?
There's a Marshadow.
I was gonna say
There's
the
a
best, it has the best Uber ever and the worst Pokemon ever.
True, Zera's bad.
Hey, I like Zera on this team because Just close
Yeah.
your eyes. Zera, Marshadow, defensive man bust, special defense Heatran, and then you could throw in a really offensive Mammo and a setup Celebi. Like that's a scary team to face
Oh, for
regardless of matchup.
Oh, for
at all.
sure, for sure. And
So
also,
I actually ranked this at 3 in my PRs. I really feel like, especially having Sylveon, I think Sylveon's underrated in Ubers because having that special attack stat really allows you to break things, especially things coming in on it, to give you enough chip for your other Ubers that hit pretty hard to finally get those KOs off. So
also,
I really like the synergy here.
also forgot to mention Porygon. Porygon's actually very good in Ubers, not gonna lie. I've used it personally in Ubers, and like I've ran like Thunder Wave most weeks just to like catch the fighting types that are trying to switch in, like, and like it basically forces Ghost types to switch.
Relatively good 1.1, yeah.
Yeah, as 1 point, it's underrated. It's very underrated.
It's
It's a
good
little
for that.
specter, but it could be good in some games.
Yeah, for sure.
But also,
Good thing.
like, it's your best answer to do Ghost because Manibus does not really want to handle get those ghosts, like, really, because it's so passive. But
I mean, foul play knock, but yeah, fair.
but yeah, maybe something better than Celebi. But like, Celebi's okay. Like Calm Mind Recover, I guess. Rocks.
It can be. It's a matchup dependent.
U-turn exists, but Selby also has upsides.
I think the big things holding this team back is A, speed tiers, B, it lacks a lot of special presence.
Yeah, I just realized that there
Very
are 3 base 80s and 2 60s and almost a third 80 in 77.
Yeah.
So that's something as well.
Also, like if Celebi's not coming in a lot of games, it can't. You've got a gap between 125 and 80.
Also,
And that-
this team is really vulnerable to webs.
That too. Yeah.
Like Mars never wants webs. Zero runs boots with those webs, but yeah, like it's forced on boots.
A lot of weeks and weeks. But I think overall it's a pretty good team.
Yeah, it's a very good team. Like, but also mentioning your only defog is Mandy and Mug Alt.
Yeah, fair. That's true. Removals iffy.
But Mandy's a very good defogger. But yeah, that's
It has to run it, but I don't think it minds it.
that's mostly about this team. So any other things to say about this team?
That's it for the most part. Good
Okay.
bulk, too.
So now number 4, we have my team, the Seattle Sigilyphs. So
And the slowest team on the planet, by the way.
it's not, but as you see, we have Infernape, Garchomp, round 3 Mew, by the way, Xerneas, Mega Venusaur, Blastoise, Skarmory, Umbreon, and Vikavolt. So number 1, so about my team, I'm forced to bring webs every week due to my speed tiers. Yes. But there's no switching to Xerneas, so that mon just clicks buttons and things drop like flies. Mews versatile, can run spikes. Although I do have Scarm for spikes, Mews also very good. It can be offensive, defensive, speedy, Scarf, Band, Specs, anything you want basically. Yeah. Mega Venusaur is tanky. Blastoise is Rabbit Spin, so I can solo Hazard Stack, and then Fernape is meant to handle Xerneas. But yeah, any other thoughts of this team?
I think the first thing I want to point out is that I like how this team supports its Mew really well. I think a lot of times when people draft Mew, they lock it into a role almost, where they don't have enough defense or has to run defensive, or they don't have enough offense or has to run offensive. But you have a great balance to allow for Mew to do whatever the fuck it wants to each and every game.
Yeah.
I'm bringing that, by the way.
That's not even something that's that hard to do, but
I just
we did it.
But also, I have a.
I mean, you covered the hazard rolls with like Skarmory. You covered the removal roll with Blastoise as well as Skarmory. And
This
like,
team-
you covered cleric support with Umbreon. Like, and then offensive. Obviously, this team has so much offense with Xerneas, Garchomp, and Infernape. Potential stuff smash Blastoise.
This team also has like a lot of momentum as well to an extent as well. Like
I wouldn't
U-turn.
say a lot, but it
I
has
think
enough.
That's
there's
solid.
four mons enough. Nape, Mew, Blastoise,
And
Skarm, Vikavolt enough.
It's not
yeah.
as much as my team, which we'll see in a minute.
It has the biggest
Okay,
momentum in the format. Let's go.
so We have the Sacramento Kingdras.
Wait,
Do not
wait,
read that.
wait,
Do
wait,
not
wait,
read
wait,
that
wait,
text
wait,
message.
wait,
It
wait,
is
wait.
misinformation. So they have Ninjask, Raikou, Latios,
Excuse me, no.
Yveltal.
This is my team,
Urshifu-
Sceptile.
Okay, you can say
This
it.
is my team. First off, that line is the last time we're gonna say it. Zero Orange bad. Draft this guy. See the second guy? Draft him. He's way better. Anyway, my team. So I was just saying how there's a lot of pivoting on this team. That's the first thing I want to know. I really like how much pivoting there is. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think 3 U-turn. 1. Is it only 1 road switch? Yeah. Okay. Well, 1 road switch is Raikou. Tom Bass on Latios. I know Moa gets the Tom Bass as well, so that would be nice.
Does Wiggly? Or Wiggly does like a port, right?
Oh yeah, that too. Thanks for reminding me. Okay, beyond that, removal is okay. Rapid Spinel, Sand Slash, Default Latios, Default Volatile. Fast Default from Ninjas can be nice sometimes, very rarely, but it's possible. The bolt on this team is not amazing, but I like it enough. With Tangrowth being like a very nice defensive backbone, and just my team all around has a nice natural bulk, especially on the special side, which complements Tangrowth's physical really well. Hazard control is enough between A slash, a little whack. Just those two mainly, but Nidoking can be an offensive rocker as well as Mobile, as well as really tough if needed. And not to mention, Yveltal on his own can just like end games. The thing I like the most about this team though is how much knock off there is, which enables a mon that is usually plagued by Rocky Helmets and Urshifu Rapid Strike. If you can just enable it by knocking off all the Rocky Helmets, then it becomes really, really hard to deal with, which is why I really wanted it on this team.
How many knockers are there exactly?
What was that?
How many knockers are there exactly?
Let's see. There's knockoff from Yveltal. There's knockoff from Alolan Sand Slash. There's knockoff from Mega Mawile. There's knockoff from Tangrowth. There's knockoff from Alolan Marowak if I want to. And I think Wigglytuff gets it, but I'm not 100%.
I think it does.
Even then, it won't run it. I don't think. I don't think it gets it actually. I don't think it gets it.
If it gets it, then I don't see a reason not to run it because it's always going to be more.
That's why I don't think it has it. I've used Wigglytuff fair.
No, it has it. It has it.
Never mind.
Okay, so
Use
this
the
seems
strongest
very
knocker in the
scary.
game.
Yes.
This seems
If
very.
you don't have some crown, good luck switching into these knockoffs.
This seems very scary. Holy. There's no switching.
What were you saying about it? The A Sand Slash is a bit of a sore thumb on this team, I think. Like,
Just there for hazard support, really.
I guess.
Like, I was considering to drop it for a Trick Room setter, which I either will or I'll drop something else for a Trick Room setter because Trick Room could be really nice on this team.
And yeah, just that.
Besides that, I think I said everything that already needs to be said.
Yeah.
I really like this team, and I think I'm going to be able to make it do really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, seems solid.
I could also see doing work with it as well.
I'm scared of that week 2 matchup.
The number 2 team is the Winnipeg Wingulls. So steering, you take the steering wheel here.
Got it.
Bob
Alright.
Ping.
My team: MMY, Thundy Eye, Hydreigon, G-Darm, Olomomola, Celesteela, Prim, Blissey, Quag, Dottler, and Colossal. First thing, got a great bulky core in Blissey Mola, plus Steela, and then Quag just for unaware support if need be. Hazard game's a little on the weaker side, so we're relying on Colossal for a lot of it, along with Dottler, and then Rocks Blissey. But yeah, triple water is interesting, but most of those weaknesses are covered with my flying types, double flying being a thing to cover a lot of that. Not a lot of grass type weaknesses, electric types. Again, my flying type and Thundy Eye isn't weak to electric, and I have a Quag for that. Offensively, MMY, Hydreigon, G-Darm, Thundy Eye, Permarina is dummy scary. Even Celesteela if I wanted to run it offensively.
Yeah.
MMY is one of the scariest offensive threats in this format, and I don't even know why it was legal.
Because it's a Cameron plot.
I mean, still, call mindsets, raw breaking at the late game. I've got a lot of pursuit coverage if need be, too. A lot of those mons can still go physical as well. Mewtwo is Psych Strike, and just general physical sets off a 150 attack it has. Thundy Eye gets balled up, sets off a 115 attack. Hydreigon with 105 attack with D-Dance sets. Just to make sure I force opponents to run either side. And I think that's all I've got to say. Anything else?
Yeah, those seem very good. Wabs with the MMY is very good. Like I personally love webs because webs, for the best way that people beat Megamind White with Scarfers. So Dodler having those webs really help Megamind White fight off against Scarfers.
Yeah, because it forces everything to run boots.
Yeah, true.
Or
I see certain Mon's coverage giving this team a lot of issues, especially switching near best sort of electric answer being Quag. Most electric types I find have something to hit Quag pretty big. But for the most part, I think the biggest, most underrated aspect of this team that nobody's talking about is Hydreigon and the synergy that it has. It's able to get in and out very easily, which is what you want to have when you draft it, to sort of put it in that role. So, yeah, and G-Darm on top of that is just, it's scary in both ways. Like, you could see yourself early breaking, and then you're like, damn, I can't get through this defensive core because I lost this Mon. And you could also see situations where off the bat, you just know you gotta save your offense to the end, and it's tough to do that when you have a freaking Mega Mewtwo Y in your face.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite things that I was able to do with this team is I can control the pace of most of my games because I have both a strong offense and a crazy defensive core, so I can just go under pressure and then just back off a second and force my opponent to play slower and just take momentum and start controlling the game. But,
yeah.
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 Is that it on that one?
Your physical offense is G-Darm, and that's and Hydreigon, that's mainly it.
Fundy Eye.
Yeah.
150 attack on MMY.
Funny Eye is more of a utility if it runs physical, but like yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, face value is a lot, it's like mainly special threats, but with every single one of my special threats outside from Arena can still go physical and do well physically.
Yeah, so now we're gonna go to the final team, the number 1 team, which is the Game Room, coached by Kurapika. The first 4 mons are insane. Right, like Coco, Darkius, Megalade, Gengar.
As well as Corviknight and Swampert.
Yes.
That's I think the eye popper to me.
My one wish. Don't let Darkius go 6 and 10. Please, Kay, thank you very much.
It shouldn't, hopefully.
It better not.
Coco is very overhyped in Uber's format. It doesn't supply enough pressure to break those Ubers like it does in normal format.
Yeah, so like
that might struggle a bit.
I used Coco in Ubers in BBL Season 7, and I went 11 and 4, I believe, with it. It was really, really good.
Yeah.
It was Mega Lucario Coco, so it was a really good duo.
Okay, yeah,
I did
that's-
most of the heavy work.
Damn, okay,
but yeah,
fair.
Coco, Darkius, the mon I can never get my hands on, unfortunately. Yeah, this team is very good, and not even mentioning the Ditto, which will transform into you, so you got prep for yourself. Orange sure loves prepping for themselves, don't you?
Yeah, it's really hard to prep for yourself as well as your opponent. It's doable, but goddamn is it difficult.
I think just the main thing in that team
And
that
yeah,
makes it so good is
honestly,
the core.
Honestly, being real, top 3 plus Dale come every game, and Corvi.
That's fair. I actually found it very funny that everyone is so high on this because I had this ranked below 7. The reason being for me is, once again, that Coco point I think is very real. I used Coco last season in LPL, and I struggled to find its role on teams even when I needed the electric stab. My biggest problem with it is, of course, Gengar in theory works very well, but I'm really questionable about how Gengar and Pert really translate to Ubers. Pert is always really doing the same thing anyway, which is kind of soak something, get rocks up, and then get out, which is fine. But when your special sort of option on the other end is Snorlax, I think it's pretty easy to find ways to sort of chip this team down and put it in a position to get cleaned late. So that's my big issue with it.
I think that's entirely fair, yeah. I think another thing that I was looking at and noticing as well is its offense is a little bit restricted sometimes into, like, Coco, a lot of time in Ubers wants to be screens. It can still be offensive. Like, those first 4 can definitely be offensive, and they're damn scary. But once you go past that, there isn't really that offense.
One
And
thing,
even then, those first 4 can struggle sometimes to break things open.
One
Get
thing-
into the first position.
yeah,
But otherwise, crazy.
one thing we gotta mention is that speed gap 110-83. Not the best.
Especially when Magmortar's one of the worst mons on this team, and you can just ignore that sometimes.
And like, if you ignore Magmortar, it's basically 110-267, which is a big yikes.
And even then, at 67, when is it running speed?
Never.
True.
So,
Yeah,
Unless
Fortnite
it's-
wants to be slow as possible.
Unless it's scarfed, which is weird.
well, that's pretty much 110s to 67s being able to run Adamant or Modest.
Yeah.
That's,
Unless they really respect the Magmortar, which is fair, but unlikely.
I don't. But
Some teams might.
good pick.
Some teams
Good pick.
definitely might.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think that it then put that one.
I've used Magmortar in the past, and it's actually very sleeper.
It can't
It's
be.
good. It's good on the right composition.
Yeah.
But it's not anywhere near like a requirement. I think it's something that should be respected.
Yeah, it's an
I
honor.
think it's much better in non-Ubers. This,
Oh,
looking at it in Ubers,
very.
I'm like, this isn't
I
gonna work.
just think there's
It's so slow.
this team wants to bring 6, 7, 8 mons every single game, and Magmortar will really struggle to fit on a team where you want Coco, Darkius, Mega Gallade, Gengar, Corviknight, Pert almost every single week.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, still great team, great synergy with a lot of these mons here. And yeah, that's the last team. Yeah.
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 So, I want to thank everyone for joining me with PRs here. I hope all of us can do the best. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, my Sceptile Squad, and to everyone else that's watching, thank you.